never be a memory.
And what's going on, Read My Lips people? We are back. Boy, oh boy. What a day yesterday. What a day today. What didn't feel great yesterday. Tried to record. I couldn't. So I said I was definitely going to do it today. Tried to stay up and see the results for the Iowa caucus yesterday. There were no results. So here we are today. And we're just going to talk about that a little bit because it's important. And let's talk about the clusterfuck that is the DNC. And talk about what's going on with Yang, where does Yang stand, and where does Yang go from here. So we got a lot to touch on. We're going to breeze right through it. So did you guys see Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg? They're in New Hampshire now. All the candidates should probably be in New Hampshire at this point. And they got protesters there, which is okay. It's it's their right to protest. The protesters were talking about relevant stuff though, and especially in Pete's, especially dealing with Pete. He was talking about climate change. If anybody truly believes Pete Buttigieg cares about climate change, you're out of your mind. But the protesters were talking to him about that, and the people that were there supporting him were such shills. They were like, "Shut up! We don't want to hear you. Sit down." But the protesters were bringing up really valid points. It was interesting.
Many other candidates have planned ways to.
I appreciate you, but we really need to get on with our event.
You are a young candidate. I'm so thankful you're in this race. I'm 25 years old. You have a fossil fuel plan that is going to change my life. We are both in this fight, and your climate change policy does not match up with the science for both of us to live to our life expectancy.
So let me ask you.
Will you hold fossil fuel companies accountable financially for their role in the climate crisis, including the existing infrastructure that we're currently paying for as taxpayers? Taxpayers already paying for.
So speaking of Pete Buttigieg, 62% of the reporting is in. We were supposed to have it yesterday, and if they would have just gave us a piece by piece as it was coming in, that would have been great. But here we are a day later. It's almost 2 days later, because it's almost 12 a.m. my time. And we have 62% of the reporting in for the results. So as it stands right now, Pete Buttigieg has 10 delegates, 26.9% of the votes. Bernie Sanders has 10 delegates, 25.1% of the votes. Elizabeth Warren has 4 delegates, 18.3% of the votes. Joe Biden has 0 delegates, 15.6% of the votes. Andrew Yang, 0 delegates, 1% of the vote. And everyone else just falls off into abysmal land. So I'm wrong. Amy Klobuchar has 0 delegates, 12.6% of the vote. So this would place Andrew Yang in 5th place, which is, I was talking to a lot of Yang Gang, and this is kind of where we projected him at, 4th or 5th place. We were saying 3rd place would be amazing, but 4th or 5th place is where we were thinking majority of the people I talked to thought he was going to be at, and that's where he hit. Now, I didn't see any of these people that I'm about to speak of. I didn't see anybody complaining on social media. I didn't see anything on Twitter. I didn't see anything on Facebook. But I see, some Yang Gang complaining that, Sanders supporters are saying that they're mad at Yang Gang for not going to Sanders, or Sanders being their second choice and things like that, which is essentially why Pete Buttigieg is ahead. It's a tiny bit ahead. But since, candidates that weren't viable went to Pete, it gave him an increase. And they were saying, Yang Gang was saying that, Sanders supporters were saying this. Again, I'm just going to reiterate. I haven't seen any Sanders supporters complaining about it. I haven't seen them getting at anyone's neck, boo-hooing, crying. I haven't seen it. But Yang Gang is saying that, Sanders supporters are crying and saying this. So my message to, the Sanders supporters would be, Yang is made up of a diverse, broad coalition of people, right? Similar to Sanders people. A diverse, broad coalition of people, but Yang's is still slightly different, and you can't expect a large portion of Yang Gang to go to Sanders. I mean, they had that poll result that came out, or graphic that came out, that was like 40% said they wouldn't go to another candidate or something like that. So look, obviously, I supported Sanders in 2016. He's my number 2. So if you wanted to group me into that, go to Sanders if, worst case scenario kind of thing, I got it. I can see you grouping me in there. But somebody like a Russell from Grassroots Yang Gang, there's no way in God's green earth he'd go to a Sanders, right? And that's just showing you that broad coalition of people. We're not all, super similar like some of the other candidates people are. We're not all vote blue no matter what, etc. So you shouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised. Again, I haven't seen any Sanders supporters complaining about this. But if there are any, you should have did your homework. You should have known that a lot of Yang Gang wasn't just going to go to Sanders. It's not how it works, right? But, even more so, the bigger news from this Iowa caucus is the reason we only have 62% of the votes is because they used an app. Okay? They used an app, and this app that they used has ties to Pete Buttigieg, which is absolutely horrendous, should not be allowed. No candidate should have any ties to an app that decides the voting figures for the Iowa caucus. Are you out of your mind? You gotta be insane. So, Pete Buttigieg's campaign contributed money to the tech firm whose voting app contributed to reporting delays at the Iowa caucuses. Right? So, Pete's campaign gave tens of thousands of dollars to Shadow, which is the company that helped make the app, on July 23rd, 2019, for software rights and subscriptions. Shadow is a tech company that has an investor in the Dem Digital Nonprofit Organization acronym, and was also paid $60,000 over 2 installments by the Iowa Democratic Party to build an app to help make caucus voting easier and faster for precinct volunteers. That kind of went down by the wayside, didn't it? So for first-time voters out there, they've got to be pissed. It's got to be annoying as all hell. If you're a first-time voter and you go out there and you vote and you don't even get the results for your damn vote because they want to do this stupid app. Stupid. Yang commented on the app. He said something along the lines of, it might be helpful to have a president and government that understand technology so this sort of thing doesn't happen. And it couldn't be any more true. Yang has absolutely made himself the most comfortable presidential candidate when speaking about topics like tech and automation. There was, rumors of hacking and things along those lines. Supposedly it wasn't hacked. And it's just a glitch. But here's the thing. I don't trust it at all. I don't trust it. It's got Pete's name tied to it. Sanders looks like he was going to, run away with it and be the winner of the Iowa caucus. And of course they don't want that. They absolutely despise Bernie Sanders. An MSNBC person just got caught talking about it. I'll post a video actually right after this. He says, the Democratic Party, they want to defeat Donald Trump. But the person they want to defeat the most, even more so than Trump, is Bernie Sanders. Just out in the open.
There's no doubt that if Bernie Sanders is looking like he's going to run away with it, for the Democratic establishment, that's almost as scary as losing Donald. Like, beating Donald Trump is really important. Almost as important is keeping Bernie Sanders from being the party's nominee, and that will help Mike Bloomberg if that's where we end up in the first week in March. Really, the people.
So, look, fair is fair is fair. Is fair. So whether you're in Sanders' camp, whether you're for Sanders, whether you're against Sanders, this needs to be fair and democratic. Right? So if Amy Klobuchar got the most votes and ended up winning the Iowa caucus, then that's just what it is. That's what the people voted for. I might not like it, but that's just what it is. So if Bernie Sanders wins the Iowa caucus, people may not like it, but that's just what it is. Do not interfere with the people's choice. If that's what the people vote for, let it fucking be. So I don't know. The whole thing smells fishy to me, like a bucket of bacalao, and I'm not digging it. Pete Buttigieg is connected to it. That's insanity. That should never have been allowed. Ever. Ever. I don't care if it was Yang. If Yang, I was like, no, Yang can't put any money towards this app. No. Nobody should. No candidate. That's too close for comfort. And then look, a glitch. 62% is poured in, and it just so happens Pete Buttigieg is on top with the app that he contributed to. So, I think New Hampshire pretty much said they're not going to use this app. Smart thinking. And I hope nobody else does. I really do. I hope people stay as far away from this app as possible. So let's talk about Yang and his momentum. Look, Yang dropped the speech, and it was at the end of the night. And one thing he has is momentum, and even more so. I guarantee you, there was nobody, when Yang first announced he was running, not a single media person, not one person in the media said, this guy's going to go all the way to Iowa. This guy's going to go to New Hampshire. This guy's going to be able to compete. Nobody said that. Guaranteed, 100%. Nobody's riding for Yang, and look at him. Look at him. It's impressive. It's impressive. And a Republican colleague of mine said, who likes Yang, he's a Trump supporter, but he likes Yang. He said, no matter what comes out of this, whether Yang makes it or not, he has sealed his fate at becoming the president of the United States the next time he runs. He goes, the next time Andrew Yang runs, if he doesn't make it this time, he will be president of the United States. And this is coming from a Trump supporter, a 60-year-old Trump supporter, because he's proven himself. He's shown that he is the real deal. And I couldn't be any more proud of him. So, Andrew Yang said, and I quote, "We have already shocked the political world." And it's true. It's true. And, I think he's going to perform well in New Hampshire. That's right up Yang's alley. I think Yang's going to perform well in New Hampshire. I think Bernie's going to perform well in New Hampshire. Biden, not so much. Elizabeth Warren, maybe. Pete Buttigieg, nowhere near as well as he just performed in Iowa. He's got a lot of momentum. Like he said in his speech, which I'm about to play for you in a second, donate, show them we mean business. Don't let up off the gas pedal. He's done more than anybody ever expected him to do in the media, all the naysayers. And we're actually affecting more than what they thought we would. Again, not jumping to Bernie. Yang Gang could have easily all jumped to Bernie Sanders, and he would have blew it out of the water. Like, we have more sway than they care to give. But we didn't do that. And again, I like Bernie. He's my number 2. But they should know from the jump that we are a broad coalition of people, and we're not all just going to be sheep. We're not sheep. We're not vote blue no matter what. We're not just going to close our eyes and nod our heads and do whatever you say. Fuck that. We go where we want to go, and we support who we want to support. How come I know on my channel it's Yang Gang or die? On my channel. I'll just go through the comments. They don't see that? They don't know that? They're surprised by that shit? It doesn't surprise me in the least bit. Just go through any one of my videos, scroll through the comment section. It's Yang Gang or bust. So anybody surprised that they didn't jump to Sanders is not paying attention. Now, it does not make me happy that Pete's on top. Does not. That's Yang Gang. Yang Gang. Yang Gang. I don't like that Pete shit. At least with Sanders, you know what you're getting. He's been the same consistently throughout the years. You can either love that or you can hate that. And you can be like, well, this is Bernie Sanders. This is the kind of guy he is. I don't fuck with it. Or, hey, you know, I dig it. Because he's shown who he is. We don't know who the fuck Pete Buttigieg is. Who's Pete? You don't know Pete Buttigieg. We don't know him. It's like a fucking robot. There's no way he acts that way outside of the campaign. At home. No way in hell. That's all a facade. The way he talks, the way I talk, the way I respond. Yeah, that's all fake. The fake Obama impression. Just fake. Fake, 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 fake. Fake. Why? I don't understand those people that are sitting there and at his rallies celebrating a robot. You want to talk about automation? It's a fucking robot up there. So I don't know. You know, I know a lot of Yang Gang don't like Sanders or in Sanders supporters, and that's fine. But don't fucking sit here and tell me you prefer a Pete. Don't tell me you prefer a Pete. We can't let Pete. We cannot let that fucking robot Pete. Jesus. And look, I was talking to a whole bunch of people today. And again, whether you like Bernie, whether you hate Bernie, regardless of who it is, Bernie, Klobuchar, Biden, I don't give a fuck. If they screw somebody out of the win, if they cheat a person out, if they don't have this democratically done, I will never vote Democrat again. Ever. Ever. And you probably won't see another Democratic president for a long time unless Andrew Yang runs again. This needs to be fucking fair. I don't care if it's Klobuchar in number 1. All right? I don't care if it's Biden. I don't care if it's Yang. I don't care if it's Sanders. Let the people vote. Do not interfere in the people's votes. Because what the fuck? What is this? You don't get to choose. You don't get to pick and choose who the people vote for. Let it be. Let it fucking be. If you don't leave this democratically elected by the people, I'll be done with the Democratic Party. I'll fucking be done. Do not. You already fucked up in 2016. Don't pull no fast ones. Do not pull any fast ones. Right? I feel like Yang's numbers are low too. I don't like this shit. Again, a lot of Yang Gang thought he'd be 4th or 5th. I don't know. Something doesn't sit right with me. So I'm gonna play the video of Yang. It's about 6 minutes long, talking at the end of the night in Iowa, and then we're going to close out. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you don't, let me know in the comment section why. I'm always down to talk about it. I have a Cash App, a PayPal, and a Venmo link in the description below. Please feel free to donate to my channel. Every little bit helps. Hopefully, I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.
Thank you so much. You all are incredible. Also want to say a special thank you to my wife, Evelyn Yang, for being such an incredible partner as we're on this journey. I love you so much, baby. Woo! What a night here in Iowa. Thank you all so much for the hard work and dedication you put into making tonight a tremendous night for the Yang Gang in this campaign. And this is a great time to actually pause for reflection on how far we've come. We declared over 2 years ago, over 30 people ended up jumping into the race. Remember that first debate stage, there were 20 candidates, they had to break it up into 2 nights. And I'm going right from here to New Hampshire, where I will be one of the 7 candidates on the debate stage on Friday night in New Hampshire. So many of you dropped everything and came here to Iowa to fight for this campaign. Raise your hand if you're from out of state and came here. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's give you a round of applause. Look at this. That's humanity first. That is what has made this campaign the political force of nature that no one saw coming. We've raised tens of millions of dollars from almost 500,000 Americans in increments of only $30 each. And that is because people have made this case to other people at every step of the way. And tonight, what happened? We saw that tens of thousands of Iowans around the state realized that their economy is transforming around them in profound ways. I've seen it myself. It's gone from the farms to the factories to the main streets, and eventually will hit the highways. This is what we have to turn around, Yang Gang. We have to actually make an economy that works for us instead of the bottom lines of these huge companies. To say it is all about our bottom line, because we all hear there are record high corporate profits, record high GDP in this country. You know what else are at record highs in the United States of America right now? Stress, anxiety, drug overdoses, suicides, depression, student loan debt, medical bankruptcies. If your corporate profits are going up and your very life expectancy is going down, which do you listen to? That's right, it's our lives. Yang Gang, it's our lives, America. We have to start measuring how we're doing by how we are doing and not how these giant companies are doing, because the two are no longer lining up. If anything, they're heading in opposite directions more and more. And that is what this campaign can change. This campaign can make our country's bottom line, our family's bottom line, our kids' bottom line, our town's bottom line. Because you look around and you see that our current economy does not reward the kind of work that Evelyn and stay-at-home parents do every single day. It doesn't recognize and reward the kind of work that caregivers like Kyle Christensen taking care of their ailing mom do every single day. Volunteers and activists doing work in your communities, artists, people trying to make the community stronger. All of these are getting zeroed out one by one by one. Our very democracy is getting zeroed out, because in this country today, we feel money on one side and people on the other. It's the money that wins. And this campaign is about turning that around. This campaign is about saying the best way we can solve our own problems is by putting economic resources into our hands, the people's hands, that we know how to improve our lives better than any other government program. That message rang loud and clear here in Iowa tonight, thanks to each and every one of you. And now we're going to take that message to New Hampshire and the rest of the country. I gotta say, I'm a numbers guy. We're still waiting on numbers from tonight. We're all looking around being like, what's the math? What's the math? And this is one of those situations where we can essentially just throw some algebra letters up on the wall and being like, I guess we'll project onto these letters for now what the numbers are going to be. But the math that I care most about is the fact that this movement has become something that has already shocked the political world. And it's going to keep on going from here. It's going to keep on growing from here. You know what's fun is when some of the other campaigns hold a fundraiser, they get together in a fancy place. They put on their nice duds. They come together. They say expensive words. They think expensive thoughts. You know the way the Yang Gang has a fundraiser? We're going to have a fundraiser right now. What we're saying is, Yang Gang, if you want to keep this movement growing through New Hampshire, chip in 5, 10, 20, 30 bucks tonight. And let's show that this campaign is going to grow and grow all the way to the White House. We have shocked the world time and time again, Yang Gang. Are we done yet? No, we're going to go to New Hampshire. I'm going to be in the CNN town hall, the debate stage on Friday. The voting's going to start on the 11th. And then they're going to see that this campaign has just begun, and it is going to go all the way. Thank you, Iowa.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying